So my name is Elaine Ottstott. I am a Coelho Fellowship alumni, and I have a bachelor's in science in public health that I completed after something like 10 years, thanks to a difficulty with learning disabilities and chronic severe migraines. So my first memory of realizing that there were accessibility issues, discrimination, and lack of inclusion was when I had just moved from Alabama to Texas. As a kid, I really struggled with spelling and math, and then later the migraines. So I received some testing in school as a kid, but it was really only enough to be able to put me in a program called Content Mastery. It's basically a program where students with disabilities were sent for help with school and with their homework, which, sounds great on the surface, but really it was just a warehouse for kids on school property where they could send the disabled kids. And didn't matter if you could hack it in another class, they just sent you there. I had a teacher who was really just makes me mad because she didn't care that I could do things in her class just fine. It was just that she decided because I had the Content Mastery label that I should go to Content Mastery for every single one of her classes. Didn't matter if it was something I could do with some help or a question or no help at all. It was just off to Content Mastery you go, here's your slip. And I didn't think much about this as a kid because I had been taught, don't make waves, don't get in trouble. But later on, as I became an adult and started to realize this isn't right, I look back on this and I'm thinking, I spent most of third and fourth grade in this warehouse program. Finally, in fifth grade, I was pulled out of school and homeschooled, but it's not that the teachers were bad, it's just that it was a bad program. And in that program, I didn't spend a lot of time in the classroom. So my personal story, or I guess connection with the ADA or the Americans with Disabilities Act, is that education for me wasn't easy. I know that, white, female, in a relatively prosperous part of the country, I should have had it easy, but I didn't. I struggled, and I know people had it worse than me, so I'm gonna get that out of the way. But I struggled, and it took me until I was an adult to receive the proper accommodations that I needed to succeed under the ADA. And that took actually banging on a couple of doors and practically beating down some doors to get these accommodations so I could succeed as a student and obtain the degree I wanted. This impact that the ADA has made by saying that I can have supports in education have been invaluable. And I know they've been invaluable to other people too. But I think we also still lack a lot of progress when it comes to things like healthcare, education, and employment. And when you're talking about the intersection of disabilities and public health, it's often that public health thinks a disability needs to be institutionalized and that advocacy really doesn't do much other than cause trouble. But the thing is, I've seen so much great stuff come out of advocacy, and then when you have the policy to support what the advocates are saying they need, then that's when we really succeed. It's quality of life is saying that somebody who has a life is worthy of having their life, and having somebody on their side who can help them make the proper decisions about their care and support. The one thing I think that needs to be changed in our lives as persons with disability is saying that, we're worthy of living, and the rationing care right now as we go through this COVID pandemic is disturbing, to put it very bluntly. This is not okay. I think that as a community, we need to push back against this. We need to, as part of a community that cares, we need to check in on other people. We need to offer our support and offer our knowledge base that will help them have access and equity in their lives and enable them to say, we are worthy of living.